Welcome to the latest episode of the Claus Corner. Today's guest is a writer, director, cinematographer, producer, and director of photography. In 2017, he founded his own production company, Hawk Studios. They are a full video production company offering services for shorts, features, documentaries, and corporate. They welcome SAG and non-SAG. His movies include Letters for Annie, Memories from World War II, The Harvard Psychologist, From Bobby, Elizabeth Carter, Project Chameleon, Article 92, and many more. As we are filming this episode, he is just beginning principal photography on his latest film, The White House is Fake. So without further ado, please welcome 11-time award-winning filmmaker and 4-time Claus Corner guest, Joe Hawk, to the Claus Corner. Joe, how the hell are you on this Wild Hawk Wednesday?
You know, it's happy Wild Hawk Wednesday. Everything's good. Everything's going well. A lot to talk about on the new project. As you mentioned, the White House is fake. You know, the good and bad about that title is when you say it, people are like, what did you just say? The White House is fake. And then they're like, they think it's about like, the current administration,
Yeah.
which it's not even about really any person or any type of affiliation, because and I know that politics and religion really divide us. So what it really is it starts in the 1957 Dwight Eisenhower era, where he did the Interstate Highway Act, which the primary purpose for that was to build infrastructure roadways for the military, but they changed it. They're like, wait a minute, where's the public going? So it took them from 1957 to 1992. It took them 37 years to build the highway. This is true. And I tie my fiction around that. Well, I say, well, wait a minute. Well, why are they building all this infrastructure? Why can't there be some secrets that the government doesn't want you to know about? So that's what the White House is Fake is about. It's about secret tunnels. It's about Nelson Conrad. He's a teenager who sees something under a highway he shouldn't have seen, and now he's the interest of the U.S. government. Oh, yay. That's what we're doing.
Sounds like a fun time. Well, most people don't even know. I think we talked about this in our last interview that this was written, I want to say 1992. It's been written for a long time, long before what's going on in Washington right now.
The novel, my novel of
Yeah.
the same title, I wrote it in 2017, but the story in the novel takes place in 92 is
Takes
what
place.
it is.
That's what it is.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I knew.
yes.
I remember 1992. So, but yeah. So it has nothing to do with politics, which is good. But you know
Right.
what? I actually like that because it's going to catch people's attention. If they like it, they're like, "What the hell is this?" And they're going to want to check
That's
it out
right.
for curiosity. Then they're going to go in there going, "What the hell is this again?" Because I love it. And as we were speaking today is October 8th, 2025. I've been following you on Facebook for a while now. And I want to talk about the infamous manhole that you visited today.
I did. I was there sometime around 1 o'clock today. The reason being is on October 11th, this is a podcast, as your viewers know, it's pre-recorded. So the time this releases, we would have already filmed probably on October 11th. But October 11th, that's our first principal day to film. So these tunnels, they're very elusive. And the city engineer went there before. 5 years ago, he was in these tunnels. But there seems to be some confusion as far as where these tunnels reside. Basically the chief of police, they don't even know where it is. Nobody seems to know where it is. So initially, when I put the request in months ago, they wanted a police cruiser there because they were under the impression that this was a manhole in the roadway, which I was under the impression, but I'm not from there. So I was like, all right, I'll follow what they want me to do. So I put in the request for the police car to be there. Then I went today and he's showing me this location. He was like, yeah, you're not going to need police. I'm like, well, what's he talking about? So I follow him and we're literally like in a parking lot, down a street that just ends. And basically we're going through this is funny. We're going under a highway, right? We're going through overgrown shrubs. This is actually in a land area, not even in a roadway, is where this exists. And this tunnel that we're using, the reason being is obviously this plot has to do with secret tunnels.
Mhm.
What's interesting about it, I saw pictures from when he went down there, that's the city engineer 5 years ago. The aesthetics to the eyes, it has that old Mason look with the big bricks.
Mhm.
These tunnels are from the 1850s. We're talking Civil War days. These tunnels were used in the 1850s to bring ammunition back and forth between Ansonia, Shelton, Connecticut, and Derby. And that's what it was used for. Now it's used for excess storm drain drainage runoff, right? So we we're basically praying to the rain gods. It was a little rain today, but we're praying to the rain gods that when we film, it doesn't rain because that can fill up pretty quick, and if we're in there, that could be a problem. So we have our OSHA guy. They wanted OSHA there, obviously, to test the air intake to be sure it's an adequate level where we don't need to do any breathing aspirators. I talked to the city engineer. He's like, yeah, we didn't need anything like that. So, but the OSHA guy's coming. He's going to make sure we're safe. He's going to be there with us. It's going to be about 7 or 8 of us going down in the tunnels. And this is a scene, a B-roll scene that basically is a continuation to our highway scene we're doing November 23rd in Old Weathersfield, where they come out of the highway, out of the secret tunnel. This is the before part. So there's conversation in the tunnels, that very eerie, ominous feeling to it. These dark tunnels, they're talking. And then when they exit, then we cut back to, we exit, there's a part where we're going to see him come out of this tunnel. And then when we're going to cut back to the Weathersfield scene. We were there today. It's beautiful. It's going to be a little tricky. Number one, it's about a 4-minute walk, and we have to do a lot of jumping and just going down different areas. And then, but when we get down the ladder, this is the tricky part. Obviously, there's all equipment, and now there's people in military officer uniforms, right? We don't want to dirty them, but the problem is once we get down the ladder, there's like 7 steps. We have to literally hands and knees crawl in this little tunnel that leads to the big tunnel system. So I got these, rain ponchos. I got these, boot protectors. So now I'm debating whether I'm going to have them wear it already, or we're just literally going to all just change in the tunnel system and have them in a backpack because it might be cleaner that way.
Yeah.
So I won't know until I get down there, but that's where I'm at with it. So it's going to be a very interesting shoot. How many people say they can go into a tunnel system from the 1850s to film a political thriller like I can? And that's why I love doing what I'm doing here. This is going to be excellent.
And you do it very well. I love that because most people would think, oh, they just take their camera and they start filming. There's everything you just mentioned. Police
Yeah.
escorts, OSHA, all these
Yep.
different things you have to get, obviously, permits, permission.
Yeah, and not only that, the insurance policy has to be on key with general liability, umbrella insurance, all of that. So, and then of course it's got to be approved by the mayor, which it has. So there's a lot of red tape, but that's why in pre-production, we go after these areas many months before. And while I was in the town of Ansonia, I dropped by the mayor's office. I'm like, "Is the mayor in?" He's like, "Is he expecting you?" I'm like, "No, tell him Joe Hawk is here." He's like, "All right, Joe Hawk, come on in." So I met the mayor for the first time today too. I mean, we've been corresponding in email, but like face to face, I met him. He's a great guy. He's really for this, and he's really happy we're doing it. So we're great that our principal location, like many of the locations, is going to be in Connecticut, and this very first one will be in Connecticut, and then many after that will also be in Connecticut. So we're moving.
Yeah, I love that. And has he been a mayor for a while? The reason I asked, because probably about 2015, 2016, I hosted Rock the Valley in Ansonia at Nolan Field. And the mayor came out, I introduced him, and then I started moshing with him on the field. He had such a great sense of humor.
Oh yeah, what's his name? David. He had like an Italian guy, like black hair. It's probably him.
That's
Yeah, I
him.
think he's up for re-election this year. I think he was
Yeah.
saying, but yeah, he's been a mayor. I think for a couple terms. I think.
Did maybe not this mayor, but in the past, have you received a lot of pushback, especially in the beginning when you first started doing it? It's like,
Hmm.
who are you? What film company are you with? I don't know who you are. I'm not going to give you permission. Did you get a lot of that in the beginning?
Well, not really. No, it's actually funny. I'll get to that question, but before I answer that, is the current mayor of Ansonia, who we were just talking about. My whole pitch was about to ask him about this. I called him. I said, "Hey, is the mayor in?" And they put me on the phone with him, and I said, "Hey, Mayor, I know about the secret tunnels under your city, under this street. Can we film there?" I just said it just like that, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Talk to the town lawyer." So that's another element. I'm going with the town lawyer. There's all these waiver forms we're filling out,
Yeah.
about just strict verbiage about death. We're not responding. You know how it is with
Oh yeah.
that, right? So we filled all that out, but. To your point, we were in Putnam, Connecticut is another location. The northeast corner is somewhat forgotten about in film. So they're so ecstatic. When I went up there, I think on November 1, I was on WINY radio, local community radio.
Hmm.
And when I was up there, I told the director of development, "Hey, I'm going to be on this radio show. Do you want me to stop by the mayor's office? Because that's where she resides." And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, come by." And then the mayor of Putnam, his name's Barney. He was there. He met me, open arms. Hey, they took me out to lunch. He said, "Let's go to lunch. Let's talk to this guy, right? What can
Wow.
we do to make this a good experience?" So that was fun. So they were open, way open and opening their arms. And then on November 2nd, I'm going to be the day after the Putnam scene. We're going to be in the West Haven Police Department inside, and their mayor was there too, and they're all for this too, and they're excited. They're going to be there when we film. So there's just a lot of just no pushback really at all. I thought, somewhat the title might scare some people,
Yeah.
but that really hasn't happened. It actually happened one time. We were in I don't know if Wild Bill Petrano will join us later, but he can tell you a little bit about this. But we were at an event in Staten Island, and they were really pro-Trump, right? Remember when we had the unfortunate situation where he got shot in
Yeah.
the ear? Remember where he was going, fight, fight, and so they had that photograph in there, and we were there doing some, basically doing another event, but we were allowed to promote our event at their event. But the venue, the restaurant didn't know like they saw the White House is fake, and they're flipping out. They're like, "What kind of propaganda is this?" Like, then we had to explain it to them. It's not about the current, because they're pro-Trump, right?
Oh yeah.
It's about the current administration. This is something we're doing dating back to the 50s. Takes place in the night. Then they're like, "Oh, okay." They people get really, they really get torn up about it. But I think the pro to all this is that if they're interested in the title, they might want to just watch it, and then if they want something, to happen, or they want to, you know, Trump to go down, or make fun of him, it didn't happen. But guess what? Who wins? I win because I watched it.
Yep. That's exactly what I
So,
said earlier. I said the curiosity kills the cat. They're gonna be like, I gotta check this out. So
yeah,
it's a win-win for you.
it's a
Definitely.
win-win, and it's going to be an episodic mini-series. So that's how I'm approaching it. You know how all your favorite shows, you have your own favorite shows. I have my own favorite shows, but the way the show ends, a lot of the good shows, where they give you that cliffhanger moment at the last like
Yep.
10 seconds where it segues into the next episode, but you don't know what the heck's going to happen.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, that's how I end each episode. There's going to be that cliffhanger moment on episode one. You're going to like, oh man, I got to watch more. So every episode has that moment at the end where it's just that defining moment that brings you in. You got to get the next episode. So we're going to do 7 of these.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's what I was going to ask you. So, are you gonna where is this gonna air? Because I know you're gonna have a premiere. We're gonna talk about that. So, it's
Yeah.
not gonna is it gonna be like aired in episodes at first, and then you're gonna put together to make one movie?
No, not like that. So basically, this is a SAG Micro project, so I have to follow the SAG Micro rules, and the SAG Micro rules say that I can't do SVOD for people who are not familiar with that lingo. SVOD is subscription based on demand, or subscription video on demand, which
Yeah.
basically means, your Amazon Prime, your Hulu's, anything that you have to pay for to get. I can't put it on there, so I can't do Amazon Prime. I only could do AVOD, that's advertised video on demand. So anything that's free but may contain ads. So like Tubi is where I'm going to be earmarking this among other platforms. So it's going to be on some free type styled platforms. And Spark TV is another one. They really cater to the independent community. And I have a lot of my stuff on there as well. And current stuff now. I also have movies on Amazon Prime, but I can't do it for this one. But Spark TV, I approached them about the White House is fake. I said, "Hey, do you have anything like any exclusive, or anything we can brand this together and we can partner and get this out there, promote it, brand it?" They're like, "We have something called Spark TV First.
Hmm.
So the first time it'll be on there, then thereafter it'll be on Tubi." So the way I figure I'm going to do this, filming episode 1 and 2 this year, by January, February, we'll do our, big shindigs, whatever, premieres. And then by then it'll air on Tubi and Spark TV, episode 1 and 2. Then meanwhile, next month, all the way until, February, March, April, May, June, probably, we'll film episode 3 through 7. And then at the end of the year, we'll release 3 through 7 on the same platforms. That's how we're going to do it. Because we're gonna release the first 2 though right away.
Yeah, I want to talk about Spark TV because I never even heard of that before until I
Yeah,
started doing my
yeah.
research on yours. So I saw that your film, The Last Stop, took the crown at #1 recently. It was #1 on Spark TV. Congratulations on that. And so, where can people access Spark TV? Is it something you
Yeah, so
download from the
actually,
app?
my other film, Article 92, was on #1 for 6 weeks straight. So I
Wow.
mean that's huge. But yeah, if you have a computer, you just go to Spark TV. I think it's SparkKTV.com. It's 2 Ks. You could watch it on your computer, your laptop, your phone. I think they have an app as well. I'm not really sure, but it's I know it's pretty big on the computer-driven smartphone type way to watch it. But
Okay.
you just go on there. You don't have to register. You just pick what you want. You watch it for free. They have hundreds of movies on there, and then every week, depending on the views, they do the ranking, and then they'll announce the number one. I think 1 through 10, based on their views. So it's a very cool thing. Very cool thing to see.
Yeah. How did you hook up with them?
I think of another filmmaker of mine was using it, I believe, and I saw and some of the stuff that I filmed too down in North Carolina. They were using it, popcorn movie productions,
Hmm.
and I saw they were on there. And I want the visibility is important, right? So I have a lot of my stuff on Amazon, some stuff on Tubi right now, but hey, why not just offer it anywhere you can, right? So we
Exactly.
started engaging Spark, and we have The Last Stop on there. The Harvard Psychologist is on there. Well, it's called Elizabeth Carter. That was the original title that I
Okay.
tried to release on Amazon Prime, and they rejected me. That's the first time I ever rejected me. Now, what's interesting about Amazon Prime, when they reject you, they won't tell you why. But I kind of figured out why they probably did, and you can't resubmit it. Once they reject you, you can't submit that title. And I was talking to my father, who is a graduate of Full Sail University, and he has many huge directors, the director of Escape Plan. My father could talk to him. He's like, "Hey, watch this movie, my son's movie. Tell me what do you think?" And he's like, "Well, it could be that, Tommy Fury when he's eating the intestine sandwich might be a little much." So I took that scene out. I rebranded the title from Elizabeth Carter to the Harvard Psychologist, resubmitted it on Amazon, and it passed.
Yep.
So
That's
on Amazon Prime, it's called the Harvard Psychologist, but on Tubi and Spark TV, it's called Elizabeth Carter. It's just weird. Sometimes that happens, though. It's really weird. You
I
never
gotta tell you,
know.
I gotta tell you a funny story about something similar. I'm sure you know who William Friedkin is. He did The Exorcist, French Connection. I read
Yeah.
his autobiography, and there was when he was making The Exorcist, he said these producers would come down and say, "Oh, this is gonna. There's no way this is gonna do well. You got to change this, change that." And after they left, he goes, "We're not changing a fucking thing. We're leaving it the way it is. We're just gonna tell them we made the cuts." And you're like, "They're gonna notice." Like, watch this. He did not make one cut in the film that came back. And he goes, "See, now it's perfect. See what happened. See what happens when you listen to my suggestions." And they're laughing. They're like, "We didn't change the thing," but you never know. Like sometimes, like these studio heads, maybe it's gonna be a little bit different. Maybe it was the intestine scene for you, but they just want to hear themselves talk and make themselves seem more important. Like, "Oh, take my advice. This movie will be better if you do this or do that." But the question I have for you is regarding
Yeah.
Amazon. Is what's the difference? Why were some movies able to play on Amazon and this one in particular? Why not? What's the difference? With you said only advertisements or with advertisements?
Well, it's because my project type. My other projects basically were non-union.
Okay.
Non-union don't really have rules you have to follow. When you do SAG ultra low budget and SAG micro, you have to follow their project rules. And in their project terms, that it specifically says you can't do X, Y, and Z. You can only do this and that. So that's why in this particular one, William Petrano, who may join us later,
Yeah.
he's a SAG actor and he's in this, and that's why we have to follow
Okay.
the SAG rules that say we can only do AVOD on when you do a SAG micro project. So that's kind of how it came to fruition
Yeah.
as a SAG micro. If we did a SAG ultra low budget, which there's a somewhat heavy budget, but there's a lot of stuff you have to do, paperwork and just this endless stuff. I didn't really want to go down that path,
Yeah.
so I kept it simple. We did a SAG micro for this one.
Might as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of actors, last time I had you on the show, you were unfortunately mourning the death of your father, who did music for your films, helped out a lot. This time we're doing the interview, and I think you had two losses. One you just mentioned, Tommy Fury. He passed
Yes.
away very recently. Another one was Stephen Hugg.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, Stephen Hugg was the lead actor in the lead actor in Article 92. That's my alien, my space alien movie that's on Amazon Prime right now. He was the lead actor, and he basically what's interesting about it. Well, what's bad about it is he never even saw the whole thing come out. But
Uh,
the original premiere date was on February 14th. That's Valentine's Day. And I think it was like 3, 4 days before Valentine's Day, I got a message from his significant other. "Hey, Joe, Steven's in the hospital. He's not doing so good." And I'm like, oh no. And he's like, I think she said it was a stroke or some type of heart problem. I'm not really, I forget what it was. But I was like, you know what, maybe I should push off the premiere a little bit, that maybe he can rest and all that. So days went past, we got closer, um, to the event, and I was like, yeah, let's push it off. So I pushed it off, and then a few days later, on Valentine's Day, which was the original pair, a few days later, he had another complication. He passed away on the original premiere date, which was Valentine's Day.
Uh,
He was a radio broadcaster for the Boston Red Sox. He did a lot of things like that, but he was also on I believe Rhode Island radio. His nickname was Stevie Valentine, and he died on Valentine's Day. There's a little connection there. So,
yeah,
you know,
that's a shame. Sorry for your
yeah,
loss of both of them. And I know
yeah,
Tommy was sick for a long time.
yeah. He was. He really was. He was being a trooper about it, and it's a battle that's got him. But he stayed with it. I think for man, it must have been 2, 3 years, something like that. I think they told him, especially when you get stage four, usually you get 4 to 6 months. It's really quick, right? Or even less. But he hung on.
Yeah.
So.
Um,
Definitely be missed. I went to his funeral. It was I went to both of their funerals to pay the respects, and very laid out, very beautiful, and to some of the stories I heard, it was really great to see. When we did the premieres for Article 92 for Stephen Hugg, we had 4 premieres we did, and in those 4 premieres, we had Rod Norwood, who was one of the actors. He kind of did a tribute song for them because Steven's also musically inclined. He would do a lot of guitar. In the end credits of Article 92, there's a song called Radioactive Blues. That's him singing, Stephen Hugg. He did that song.
oh,
So, like, we should pay him a tribute musically. And it was just a beautiful thing.
yeah.
Um, and then Rod Norwood, who was in Article 92, was supposed to be in the manhole scene. He's supposed to play the fake U.S. president. I don't know what's going on, man. When people get old, things happen. But I
Yeah.
think I don't know. Maybe last week I got a message from Rod. He's saying, "Hey, I'm not doing good. I went in. The doctor says I have a heart problem. Next thing you know, a few days later, he had a quadruple bypass.
Oh my
Rod, he had
God.
a yeah, crazy, right? So he's resting. So I said, Rod, rest. I'll get you a smaller role for these other episodes. So I had to replace him, but he was supposed to be with me on Saturday. But you never know what's going to happen. You never know.
Yep. You can get some publicity out of this by saying, "Is Hawk Studios cursed?"
You're right. You're right. It very well could be. It could be haunted. You never know. You never know.
Oh man. So we mentioned you're filming, was it West Haven partly, Putnam's another part, then
Mhm.
where are some of the other, because I know last movie, I
Yeah.
think it was the last movie, Article 92, you went international. You were all over the place.
Yeah. I went to the United Kingdom. I mean, how many films on the independent level can say they're an international indie film? That's really hard to do. So we did that in my last film, and we flipped a car on its roof in Article 92. We are closing a road on November 1 in Putnam. Not to flip a car. I wish I could, but as I mentioned before, the story takes place in 92, so I can't have modern cars in the background when I film. So,
Yeah.
so the reason I'm closing the road is I'm placing these 90 period cards on the side of the roads while he's walking. It's a downtown scene, so I need to do that. So that's the only reason why we're closing the roads. But besides Putnam, um, I'm a graduate of Watertown High School. I went there. I saw, beautiful. It changed so much. But I met the principal. I kind of told him, "Hey, I'm a former student. Hey, can I film here for what I'm doing here?" And they're like, "Well, let me run it up the ladder." Superintendent got involved. They approved it. So I'm at my own stomping grounds at my old high school. We're filming a scene at Watertown High because the teenager is the lead in this. So there's some school scenes, right? So that's one of the stops we're doing on November 22nd. November 23rd, I mentioned Old Weathersfield. We're going to be in Norwalk, Connecticut. We're going to be at the Farmington, Connecticut Library, at the Barney Library.
Okay.
Very beautiful library on the 16th of November. Where else we're going to be? November. Oh, Talent on the October 25th at the Old County Jailhouse the Old County Courtroom. They do have an Old County Jail, which we filmed before, but we're going to be filming in the Old County Courthouse. And then in Putnam, we're going to be actually filming inside the Bradley Playhouse, which is a theater, but they have a projection screen.
Yep.
And one of the scenes I'm doing, how cool is this? On October 25th, the scene that I'm filming there at the Old County Courthouse, that scene, I'm framing out, I'm filming. We're going to be showing in the Bradley Playhouse while we film another scene, right? How cool is that? So I'm filming actors watching a scene that I've already filmed, and I'm doing that, right? So it's basically A Few Good Men is one of Nelson Conrad's favorite movies.
Hmm.
Now, for copyright purposes, I cannot show A Few Good Men, obviously. So
Yeah.
I'm changing up a few dynamics of the scenes. So we're reenacting the courtroom scene for the Code Red, Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise. But I'm changing the lines. I'm changing the scene dynamics a little bit. But that's what I'm recording. That's what he's watching. So he's going to the theater to see this movie. And the scene that I'm doing in the courthouse is that dramatic Code Red scene, but I'm changing up a few things for copyright. So when he goes to Putnam and he goes to watch this film, that's the film that he sees. It's the scene that I'm filming on October 25th. So we're doing stuff like that. And then he sees this poster on the wall. It's got a giant eyeball on it. It's got a man on a tight wire rope. And there's crocodiles, alligators in the lake. And he's just, walking across it. Beautiful island, clear water. And there's only a date and a location on the poster. So Nelson's like, so this kid always has a journal. He documents everything. Nelson Conrad, the main lead. So while we're filming that, that's one of the props we're going to have. So he goes to this address and he finds out that this company, this new startup company is offering a chance to go anywhere in the world without leaving your living room. And this is huge for 1992. So he's like, oh yeah, this is exciting. But there's something going on with that I'm not going to get into, but that's kind of where we're doing the locations all over Connecticut. Like I said, we're Putnam, Old Weathersfield, Towland, Watertown, West Haven, Norwalk, all over the place. It's going to be fun. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
Well, the good news is that you seem to be making the press as well. I saw an article in the paper saying
Yeah.
they had to close down Route 44 in Putnam due to filmmakers making a movie.
That's
Yep,
me.
you're that filmmaker.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, they did a news article. That press release is going to be issued to the public 10 days prior to the shoot, which should be coming up I don't know, probably in a week or two. They're going to send that to all of the residents to know. It doesn't say Hawk Studios, but that article is intended for me. So what's interesting about that, as we were talking about before about the red tape, road closures. I contacted the chief of police in Putnam. His name is Chief Ferris, and I told him what I was doing, and I told him, I want to be in front of the Bradley Playhouse. I want to put cars here, and he said, "Yeah, that's great, Joe. I can help you with the local roads, but we have a problem." I'm like, well, what's the problem? He said, "Well, that road, that's Route 44. That's a state-owned road. I can't block that. You got to get state permission." So I had to apply for state permission with the DOT, Department of Transportation. So a little more red tape. I had to fill out a permit application. I had to go through the board on the voting and all that. I got approved. But again, as we talk,
It's a lot of
all
work.
these things you got to do, right? All these things.
Now, question for you, because what happens if you get the permit for that day, you want to do filming, but something happens where you can't film, either weather permitting, an actor gets sick, and you have to change it. Do you have to go through all the red tape again to get a new date to have the roads
Yes,
closed?
I would, but I'm not going to be doing that. I told the chief, I told everyone, weather permitting, rain or snow. I say snow because you never know.
Never
We will
know.
be filming there. It does not matter. We're gonna get it done. The main thing is the kid. Nelson Conrad has to be there, and it's mainly the kid and some background extras. So I don't foresee there's going to be a problem with that. Like I said, rain or shine, we got to do it then. It's on our list. We're just going to get it done. Hey, if it snows, it's going to add some dramatic effects. So,
Oh
hey,
yeah,
bring it on.
it's similar to. Are you a fan of Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Dude, obviously, the reason I bring him up because I just read a book about him making El Mariachi, and he said that he had no money at all, so he was making the movie with what he had in the area. So he'd like look at these props, like, how can I make a movie with this lamp? And he'd like incorporate all this stuff into it. It's called Rebel Without a Crew. It's called Rebel.
Oh, Rebel, yeah.
And it came out in the 90s, but I just reread it, and it's such a great book, especially for people like you who are doing that. And he said the move. What I love about that was, I'm sure you know this, El Mariachi he made just for fun, just for practice. He did not want anybody to see it. He goes, nobody's going to watch this. I just want to learn how to make movies by doing this. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the lowest budget movie being picked up by Universal Studios by a big studio. I think it was like, I forgot how much it was, like $15,000. So It's just you never know. And you have that same mentality.
Yeah.
That's what reminded me of that story because you're like, fuck it. I don't care what happens. We'll have to change things around,
Yeah.
make it work, and it's gonna maybe it'll make
Yep.
it better. So,
Exactly.
um,
Exactly. Yeah. Because one of the things in the paperwork on the permit, I don't know if you know this term, maybe you do, you don't. We know when filmmakers say wet down, what a wet down means.
no, I'm not sure what that is.
So when they say wet down, because he wanted to be sure, and I was very sneaky of how my response was about the wet down. So what a wet down is basically you're adding water to the pavement to make it more cinematic,
Okay.
basically. They said I can't do that. I said, hey, that's fine, but hey, weather permitting, we're going to be there. So if it rains or snows, I'm still filming, is what I told them. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. It's just funny how, you just mentioned those things and they're okay with it, right?
As long as it's wet by nature, not by you. It's not man-made.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I love it. So the big question is I know it costs a lot to make a movie. Where's the funding coming from?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So, um, this particular one, like I said, is episodic, and we have to follow the SAG Micro rules. So it's very challenging. Is in the contract of SAG when you sign up with the project, each episode is gapped only at 10K. So we got to be under that each episode. So 70K limit per everything, but we got to be under 10K each episode. So it's going to be very challenging. Some of these, venues are paid. We're bringing in, different things. But we have my producers involved, which helps. William Petrano, he's not only my actor who plays Mr. James Hutchison, who's basically a very, very evil man. He comes off as a city engineer, but he's really someone else. I'm not going to say what that is, but he's my executive producer as well.
Okay.
And this project is Hawk Studios in association with Westerly Productions, and that's William Petrano's production company. So we're kind of in cahoots with this one. And then we have with that, we have a few associate producers on board with this as well. So you never know. We might pick up a few more before we start filming, but that's where we are right now. Is we got myself, William Petrano, Hawk Studios, Westerly Production, and then we got a few associate producers to kind of help with all of that.
Yeah, and I saw on one of your posts that you're looking for producers. So what exactly is the job description?
It's basically as it sounds. People to come in, and you gotta understand that when we do a thing like this is on AVOD, so there's really not any ROI on this, right? So it really wouldn't be someone who's looking for ROI because we probably couldn't do any ROI, return on investment. It would just be like, all right, for this amount, you're gonna get your name in the IMDb credits. You're gonna get acknowledgement in the beginning credits, right? You can come to set, you can cheer us on. It's more of a visibility requirement. So no, there's really no pre-qualifications. Heck, a mailman could be a producer if they wanted to. Anybody could really be a producer on the monetary end. And that's really what we're looking for. And it always doesn't have to be monetary either. It could be like, hey, I got this great location, you could use it, then we'll bring you in as an associate producer that way. So there's other avenues you can go by doing that, right? And we're also looking, hey, if you know anybody watching this right now, the character staple of James Hutchison is he likes cashew nuts. That's his character staple. If there's any cashew companies watching that want to sponsor, we will use your cashew nuts in the film for Mr. James Hutchison when he's eating them all the time, and we'll pass them around in the theater. Hey, so product sponsors, that's another thing that we welcome. So there's all these things that can be um, businesses, it can be people, it could be all of those things. So all of that helps.
Yep. Well, people have to go back to the year 1982 when M&M's turned down Spielberg and Reese's Pieces came in, and look what happened with Reese's Pieces. So,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they're listening, the pistachios.
Cashew nuts. Get
Oh,
your
sorry,
cashew
cashew nuts.
nuts.
Cashew nuts. Sorry about
nuts,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
cashew nuts. Who is Patricia? I might pronounce her name incorrectly. Grenier.
Yeah, so that was a I believe that's a person that just wanted to help out and offer a kind of an individual contribution. She's just an individual like you and me. I believe she's coming to the Putnam scene. Once I did that radio interview on WINY, I mean, it was just amazing. We had so many live calls come in, people offering things, extras, background people, all those things. So I believe she's one of those folks coming. I don't have my list in front of me, but that's, I believe, how she got connected with us. And she said, "Hey, I'll come in and offer my services as a background, but here's a little something to help with the production." So, like I said, anybody can do that. To get your name in the end credits, special thanks, or associate producer. For those who don't know, imdb.com, that's the Internet Movie Database. Search The White House is Fake. In there, you'll see all of the producers. Your name will go there as well. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's really a big deal. People love this. The visibility of going to a theater, not just a theater, but watching on Tubi, and you're, well, that's my name. It's on the big screen. I mean, people go crazy over that. That's high visibility. So that's what we're offering. We can't offer ROI because this is going on a free advertised video on demand. So there's really nothing, it's going to be going beyond that. So this is more of a visibility kind of partnership that we're looking for.
It's funny. It reminds me of 19-year-old Sam Raimi and 19-year-old Bruce Campbell going door to door trying to get funding for Evil Dead, saying, "If you give us money, you'll see your name on
Yeah,
the screen. Come on."
that's right. That's right.
That's
You know,
how-
there it's just funny sometimes how connections and how you got to think outside the box to really, get things done. And it happens. It really does. It happens.
I think in a way it's better now for filmmakers like you because you could do things like Indiegogo and Kickstarter where they didn't have that back then. So now you could put it
Yeah.
online and say, you know what, if you want to be part of the movie, just give us whatever you can, and we could do this for you. So far, when did it start, and where are you at right now, and what is the goal?
Yeah, so I mean the goal, the original goal was we were kind of like looking for episode 1 and 2. That's what we're filming this year.
Yeah,
So we received actually a good chunk of change. I think we're at something like let's see, maybe 5, 6 grand, something like that. It's good
that's
chunk of
good.
change.
Yeah,
But a lot of that's we've probably spent a lot of it already. Props, uniforms, rental vehicles, all those things add up as far as the production costs on those things. Especially you should see my prop list. Ordering military items, ordering flashlights as props, military stuff. All of that just really adds up. So the push is still on, and I think this title was really appealing to people. And we're really excited to get started filming on October 11th. So by the time people are watching this, we I don't know when it's going to come out, but October 18th, that's the actual the redhead stepchild day, because we're not in Connecticut. I forgot to mention this. On October 18th, we're actually going to Pennsylvania,
ah,
another scene, because the story actually takes place in Alexandria, Virginia, for The White House is Fake. We're using a lot of Connecticut for that, but there's a scene where Nelson Conrad kind of gets questioned by the U.S. government, but he's dumped into a field, and we're in country land in Pennsylvania. So this area in Pennsylvania is going to be great. A huge open field. We're going to be filming that scene. There's a perfect roadway. We're going to be doing another scene on it. So that's why we're going up there. Plus, you know how I like locations, right? Realism, finding the right location. So on the 18th, of October, we're going to be over there in Pennsylvania.
yeah. Well, I did want to talk about your attention to detail and the authenticity, because I saw some of your posts, and we're talking about the props, just the badges alone, like what you put into that. And
Hmm.
that's the other thing I liked is I saw a video of it, was the light nebulizer. What is that?
Yeah. So, you ever see the movie Men in Black?
Oh yeah,
That's what they call a light nebulizer. In that film, they wipe his mind with it, but they're like, "Hey, look at this!" Right? You hear the tsh, right? Kind of like the same concept that I'm doing. So
mhm,
I found this older style. I think it's a Polish military grade flashlight that has red and green filters, and you can kind of do stuff, strobes and stuff with the lights. So that's my version of a light nebulizer to erase someone's mind. So we're going to add special effects as well into it. But that's what the U.S. government, well, that's what the NSA uses
yeah.
to take care of problems such as Nelson Conrad. So that's one of the props that we found. And then I got it. I'm like, I open it up, looking at it, I'm like, what the hell kind of battery does this take? So I'm Googling it. It takes this battery that I've never seen before. I had to get it on Amazon. It's like I don't even know what the heck it was called, but it was like a $25 battery. It was like a big, huge thing. So I
Oh,
got that. It was working. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Then with the police badges, we have our production paperwork in order. So we order from the same company that the police departments have approval to order. They mainly use Smith and Warren. So we're actually ordering custom made badges that take 3 to 5 weeks to make. So I've already got three of them already. Spent hundreds of dollars on these badges. One is the chief of police for Alexandria to Virginia. And then I have two more. Actually, I got one yesterday. The final one are the two animal control badges, because let's just say that the U.S. government, they pretend to be people. Let's just say.
Let's just say
So,
that. Leave it
right.
there.
So that's the badges that I use,
Yeah.
and they're the real deal. They're metal. They're custom made, and it's really important to have that authenticity, because you see a lot of movies where, even on the independent level, which is fine. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that I'm really about the attention to detail. But in those films, you see they'll have like a generic badge that just says officer on it, and that's it. Like, where are they from? And there's nothing, and they have no patches, nothing. I really about the realism. So I have my tailor. I got the Alexandria, Virginia sheriff badges. I bring in him. He sews them on all for me and everything. And then I get the real badges, and then just like the animal control, I got the patches for those for the jackets too. So it's all about setting the mood with the props. And then after you do that, of course, you got the dialogue, and then after that, of course, you have the music to tie everything together. So it's just a beautiful thing, doing all of this.
Yeah, no, people, I don't even think they realize like just those little details mean so much because people do notice it. Like you just said, I watch a movie like Officer, like okay, it doesn't maybe detract from the movie itself, but you
Mm,
just look at it like they really didn't put a lot of effort into it. That's the impression I get. Maybe they did, and
yeah,
it's just like maybe didn't have money, but that's one of the things that I love about your films is like everything is so detailed the continuity is always there. It's just everything's
yeah.
spot on. I want to talk, well, actually, before we talk about the festival, I want to talk about, because you mentioned all the different places you're filming. Who is the location scout? Is that you?
Yeah, I'm basically the primary location scouting is me. If I get into a problem, I have two different resources. I have William Gannon. He's from Wallingford, Connecticut. If he's got a lot of Wallingford, Connecticut resources. We haven't yet to gone there for this one. In my previous experiences, I've leveraged him, but this one, it's probably about 98% me finding these locations. In this particular one, I don't know if you heard of the group called Connecticut Film Initiative. They're a big group in Connecticut
Mhm.
who cater to pushing the tax incentive, to where it should be, right?
Yeah.
Put in the government, put in the governor on his toes to say, hey, Connecticut's beautiful. Let's show support here. But with them, my friend Ed Cohen, he's on the board of directors. He knows a lot of places, So for this, oh, actually, I forgot a location, which brings into this. But I said, hey, Ed, I need a pharmacy, not like a CVS. There's too much red tape. You have to, go corporate,
Yeah.
probably wait 4 weeks. I don't want to do that. Something like a local family-owned pharmacy. He's like, I know just the place. So I got the place in North Haven. So November 29th, we're going to be in North Haven at the North, I think it's called the North Haven Pharmacy. I think that's the name, but it's like, family owned, right? And he helped me get that one. He also had ties into the mayor of West Haven and the police department. So he helped me with those locations, but everything else is me.
Did they close that for you that day so you can film, or are they still going to be filling prescriptions?
Well, yeah, yeah. So the pharmacy, you mean, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, the
pharmacy. Yeah.
pharmacy, we're filming on a day they're closed, so it
Okay.
works out. I think it's on a Sunday, they're not open. So, or actually, no, we're filming. They are open, but we're filming after hours. So I think they close at 3. We're filming from like 4 to 9 or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah,
I love how everybody's so supportive. It seems like everybody you talk to is like, yeah,
yeah,
come on, welcoming you with open arms, like the mayor,
yeah.
pharmacy owners, business owners. I love it. I want to talk about the Cosmic Holler Film Festival. What is that?
Yeah, well, that's not related to this. That was something for Article 92.
Okay.
Yeah, my prior one. So we're still winning many film festivals for that. I think we won 3, 4 times. So with film festivals from prior projects, like Article 92, I think was released sometime like I think it was June, maybe June or July. But when you have different film festivals around the world and around the states, their deadlines vary. So like I could submit one that might be ending in like next week, but the other one might not be for like 3, 4 months or even next year. So that's still Article 92 is still in the festival circuit. And these festivals are finally coming back because they're closing, they're getting ready for their events. So I'm hearing from different people at various times. So like I heard from a couple um, last week, but then by this time next year, it's in for like five more. But I got to wait till 2026. So
Okay.
you never know. It This all depends the timing of when you submit it versus their end time. So that's what I'm waiting. Same thing with White House is Fake. When these come out, we're going to hit the film festivals pretty hard as well because we want it to, go in there and do very, very well. So yeah, I'm really pumped. Can't wait for the October. We got the shoot dates ready all November. Like literally, we're filming every weekend in November. It's like Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. Filming basically all throughout the month, and then there's like 2 days in December that we're filming somewhere in Connecticut. I'm still working on those last two locations, and then we're done with episodes 1 and 2. So it's going to be October, November, December, and then we're done with episode 1 and 2.
Now, is filmmaking a full-time job for you?
I do it on the weekends right now. So like when I'm not doing that, I do corporate filming for clients. So like I'll do like religion, churches. I do corporate manufacturing. I do product videos. I do that type of stuff. So during the day, I do that, and then during the weekends, when I'm not doing that, I do my own stuff. That's kind of how it goes. So
Yeah, so Hawk Studios, that's your job. That's like your main job.
yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, thehawkstudios.com. All my portfolios on there. I do pretty much everything, corporate videos, religion, music video, interviews, documentaries. Well, it's funny. It's funny about documentaries. I'll tell you a quick story. Actually, there is one particular one that did give me a hard time. I'll tell you the quick story about that. About when we're talking about locations.
Yeah.
There was this before I got the tunnel system sought out in Ansonia, where I'm going to be. There's another place in New York that had this great tunnel system. I forget where it was, like, I don't know, 3 hours from, like, it was far, like 3 hours from Staten Island. It was like way up, in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
And I contacted the owner. I said, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Can we film there? I want to film specifically in this area." I showed her the picture that came from the website. They're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me talk to the owner." The owner was like, "Yes,
Mhm.
you can film here, but let me run it by legal." This is where it gets interesting. They run it by legal. Legal goes, "Nope, you can't film there. Here's why." Um, I forget the name of the company. We are blah blah blah. We need to remain politically neutral, and beliefs of politically themed events may
Oh,
be misconstrued as politically whatever. So, guys, this is not a documentary. This is fiction. Why are we even saying, like, it blows my mind. Like when you're
oh,
watching this, how are you even going to know it's you unless you go to the end credits? Like, how do you know that that's you? Like,
yeah.
so I got that pushback. That was the only pushback I got, was from the lawyer that said, "Hey, we want to remain politically neutral."
Oh my God, really. Like you said, nobody
Crazy,
even
right?
knows, nobody even think twice about it, but I guess they gotta, CYA cover their asses.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. That was the only one that really, the owner was all for it, but legal was like, "Hey, we can't be involved in this."
So you mentioned like you film, what kind of religious films would you do?
Well, not like not Christian or religious films. What I mean by that is that there's various times where church events in local towns, they might want to, they're going to do like video recording. It might be a Christmas play,
Okay.
or it might be something like a pastor talking. So I do a lot of those for the religious type and stuff when they need it. So that's my involvement with the religious, is more strictly for like Christmas pageant plays, or like certain talks that the pastor is doing. That's just one of my clients, but then most of it is more like that corporate manufacturing, internal employer trainings. Hey, if I'm operating a CNC machine, don't put your arm in this thing or don't do that, right? So keep everyone safe, basically. And then I do like other videos for like, electricians, HVAC, plumbing, all stuff like that. But, my bread and butter has always been my type of stuff on the weekends. That's when I get really, really excited for.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But at
Yeah.
least, but even then, what you're still doing what you love with your main job. You're filming, and you still get,
Yeah.
that definitely helps you get better. But
Yeah.
now, with these corporate films you make, do they supply the actors, or do you have to supply the actors for these PSAs?
Yeah, no, it's all really internal employees, so they
Okay.
provide their own, and they have like a script they go over, and we work on that. Yeah, it's all on them. I just come there and kind of break it apart. You want a minute video here, or you want different series or different sections, different topics, or whatever it might be, and then we just record it, and then they'll put it on their internal web portal.
Yeah.
So when an employee signs up, they got to watch all these safety videos and sign off on it, all that stuff. So.
Well, speaking of actors, our mutual friend Mark Withers, he going to be in this next movie, The White House is Fake?
He will be with me on the manhole scene, October 11th. He will be there. Yes, he plays United States Air Force Major Stewart. So he's got a blue U.S. Air Force uniform that he'll be wearing. Again, I got to figure it out because, like, when I get there, me and the OSHA guy go down. If it's like dirty and muddy, we might just be in the rain ponchos, and we might all just change in the big tunnel to preserve the clothing because you never know when you're crawling in and it's like a small, I think it's like maybe 6 to 8 feet. So basically you go down the ladder, then when you're down on the ground level, there's a tunnel, an opening, like a circular opening,
Hmm.
right? And then you go in there and like I think it's like 6, 7, 8 feet. You crawl, you're like this, right? Right. So I don't want to ruin the uniforms. And then when you get to the end of it, you got to be careful because the engineer was saying from there's like a 2 foot drop. So just don't jump. You got to look. You probably you got to look what's down there. We'll have lights. Then we'll set up all the equipment. But yeah, I just got to be careful with the uniforms because he's gonna be wearing the Air Force uniform. Then I have somebody else in a U.S. Army officer uniform. Then I have somebody in like a regular suit, and I have another guy in a regular suit, and then I have a guy in a military soldier outfit. So we got to carrying all this equipment, I'm carrying all these uniforms, right? It's gonna be like an Indiana Jones adventure. I'm telling you what, no snakes though, and no like balls that are gonna come flying at us, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
fun.
it seems like it. Now, what's Mark's character in the movie?
So he's just basically a major in the Air Force that is kind of he works for the fake U.S. president. I know it's confusing, but in the story, the U.S. president, well, he's fake. The real U.S. president, or I'm sorry, the real U.S. president is fake. The fake U.S. president is real. I know it sounds confusing, but he works for the fake U.S. president, who's really the real U.S. president. So the fake U.S. president, he's a hothead. He hates this guy that you voted for because in the actual series, I don't know if you remember, this is true. In U.S. Congress, they have something called the Designated Survivor Act of 1947, I believe. That says if there's a nuclear attack or some type of catastrophic event, you follow the chain of command. So if everyone is killed, including the vice president, senators, whoever is surviving last in the chain of command gets to be the designated survivor. Well, in my film, the Presidential Protection Act, which I made up, supersedes that act of 1947. And that's what Nelson Conrad finds out what is. Basically, you as people, you vote on the U.S. president. He doesn't give the real orders. He's just an actor. He's a puppet. That's what I'm showing here. The real elections is done internally in the government, and the real location of the real U.S. president, who's coined the fake U.S. president, is not in the White House. Because if the White House gets a nuclear attack, the real U.S. president, who is a fake U.S. president, he resides in the Department of Transportation. That's where he resides in Sacramento, California. Uses these tunnels to go from places. They have an internal rail car system that goes 200 miles per hour through all these tunnels.
I have to see this movie.
Ironically, these rail cars are real because in the U.S. Congress building, they have their own internal rail car system. So I'm not making this up. I even asked them, hey, can we use this? I got shot down. They're like, no production is allowed to come in there. I'm like, well, it wouldn't hurt to ask, right? So,
What's the worst they can say is no. Yeah,
yeah.
didn't ask. There is one location. What reminded me is I think 1947 was the year it happened there. I think you're filming in Roswell, New Mexico.
You're right. That is on November 8th.
Yes.
There's an underground military base that we're going to be at. It's going to be so epic. So I mean, this has so many great locations to really, tell the story. And like you and I talked about before, telling the story involves great characters, great acting, great props, great authenticity, attention to detail, great music, and I think we have all these elements going for us.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So now, with each movie, do you get more elaborate with the equipment? It's not like maybe when you first started years ago, maybe you're using like one camera. What kind of equipment do you use now to film the movie?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I first started out in 2017, I was using like a professional camcorder series of like a Panasonic,
Mhm.
still high end, but when I was doing there, it was more like high end news type, which
Yep.
is still good, but could be better, right? Then from there, after that, I evolved to Blackmagic 4K, which I've been doing since 2020. So Article 92 was done in Blackmagic 4K, which is very professional and it's still very, very good. So I'm very happy with that camera type. However, for this new project and moving forward, we are now in possession of two Red digital cameras. So we're using Red to film this film. And for those in the industry who know Red or Arri, these are the top of the line products. So we're going to be filming with Red Digital for this one.
How many cameras do you usually use to film?
Usually two. So right now I have two Blackmagic, and then I just got two Red Digital cameras right now. So those are the ones that we'll be using for the entire film for the White House's Fate.
Right. Now, I want your opinion on this because I want to find out what kind of director you are. I interviewed somebody that worked with Clint Eastwood, and he
Mm.
said that Clint Eastwood's a one-take guy. He goes, he wants to make it look genuine. He doesn't want to look too rehearsed. He goes, you should know your lines. Let's film it. Let's get out. But then you have on the other end of the spectrum, Stanley Kubrick, who would do 100 takes with Jack Nicholson in The Shining. So where is Joe Hawk in that spectrum?
I'm probably going to be in the middle, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I think this film in one take is very dangerous because if you're just a director and not DP, you don't know what the DP has. I mean, unless you have a director monitor and seeing it, but there might be times where, as far as take one, it could be like he was saying, yeah, the line's got to be perfect, but if something's not right, with continuity is not there, or if they miss a line, or if they didn't deliver a line as good as they could be, or if for some reason the focus wasn't pulled correctly, and now what am I gonna do? Right?
Exactly.
So there's all that caution. So I normally do probably three, four takes at least for each scene. And the reason being is could all those elements could happen. Could have background distractions, an airplane, trains, you never know. It could have people not doing the right lines or they're improvising too much. Um, and the other thing to do is I like different angles, right? So I have my wide angle, then that's your establishing shot. You always get the wide, then you punch in, you get your punch-ins, and with your punch-ins, you get your inserts, right? So if there's a scene where he's got his journal out. He's writing stuff down. So besides the dialogue, I want to get a insert shot of what he's writing in the journal. So there's that. And then there's the close-ups between the actors, not just your wide. So we got to do that. And then I like to do a lot of dirty shots. I call it dirty shots, meaning they're kind of like gritty shots. So like if I'm in like I don't know, let's say like a shed or something, right? Maybe there's bookshelves, equipment everywhere. I might be like in the corner of the shed, behind, and let's say the door is here, right? And I'm going to be way over here, and there's a bookcase in the middle, and I'm going to film through the bookcase where I can see some of that texture, right? I call it a dirty shot. I've done that through like fences before, where you can kind of see the outline of the fence. So I like to get at least a couple dirty shots too. So when I do my edits and my cuts, I can go from, I can go from my wide, I can go to my close-ups, I can go back to my dirty, then I can go into my inserts, right? He's writing in the journal. Or it could be just like a really, really extreme close-up, like facial expression. It could be any of those. That's why I always like to do multiple takes.
Well, you mentioned actors improving. Do you encourage that? And have you ever had like a pushback from other actors, like I can't do act like this. I need to go buy the script, and when somebody tells me something that wasn't in the script, I don't know how to react to that. Has that ever happened?
Yeah, it does. I mean, my response to them too is like, how, when you write something or I might write something, we might use different words, right, to
Yeah.
convey the same message. So I always say to them, these lines are very important, but if you need to say a few different words differently, as long as you get the point across, I'll tell you if I don't like it, just do it. So
Yeah.
I'm all about that. Um, October 11th is going to be all improv. It's not even scripted. So these guys are going to get free range. I'm going to tell them, hey, here's what's happening. We're going to do all improv in the manhole, all improv. And then there's another scene. I like to do that occasionally. On Article 92, I think we had three, maybe four improv shots. The rest was scripted. This is going to be probably about 95% scripted. There's an improv shot we're doing on October 11th. There's one more. I forget where the heck it is, but those are the only improv where I say, hey, free range, run with it, do with it. And you can get some fun takes that way. You really could. You can get some fun takes.
Yeah, exactly. So even with the improv, you do about maybe three, four takes, or we just keep going and let it roll.
Always. Yeah, I mean it's tough because when you do the improv, you it's hard too because you kind of want them to say the same stuff, but
Yeah, yeah,
oftentimes they can't or they forget what the hell they said. So
yeah.
you're just kind of at the mercy of kind of picking, what the best of all of that is, which happens. But I do it a couple times. I'll just pick the best thing that I like because you gotta also consider that when I'm filming. I got multiple angles too. I got a close up of him saying it this way, and then maybe my second shot, he might say something else later, and then another shot, but the point of view might be on a different guy, so I could take his audio and use it instead of doing, the other audio. So there's choices. There's definitely choices with that.
Yeah. All right. So I saw a documentary not too long ago. It was called Score. It's all about these different composers like John Williams and,
Yeah.
and Jerry Goldsmith. And I was so intrigued and impressed by these composers because we mentioned like music is a big part of the movie. And I don't think people realize that how much of how much what music does to movies. Sometimes, like, when they're scared, what makes them cry, it's the acting is good, but like the music is really what gets you in them, like jump scares and like the emotional scenes. So the reason I'm bringing this up was they were saying, the musicians were saying, or the composers, I mean, were saying they see the billboard already up and they're like, shit, I don't even know what to do. I don't even start the music yet. So with you, when you're making your movie, do you make the whole movie, then have your composer come in, or do you give them like different scenes here and there, have him work on it, and then he comes back and says, well, what do you think of this, Joe?
Yeah, I really do it by I give him like some dailies. I'll give him this certain scenes I want him to to do the music on. I might say, hey, put a Steiner here, very intense, or make the music rise, make a riser, and I'll kind of give him some examples. Hey, take a look at this clip from this. This is kind of how I want the mood to be, or I only want atmospheric music on this scene, or because there's a lot of scenes too where you don't even need any music, but there's a lot of scenes that are important that need to have the music. So in this one, every time it ends, though. It always ends in it's going to be a riser and like a Steiner on this one because this always ends in a way where you want more. So it's very important that every single episode at the end, the way it ends is always going to be a musical tone
Yeah.
to the way how the episodes end. So that's how I work with him is I'll just send them not the entire thing per se, but I'll send them individual clips.
So is this while you're still filming the movie, or is this after the movie's completely filmed?
No, I mean probably for this one, like October is only three scenes. November is like the bread and butter. So I would probably say like by December, by mid-November, end of November, I'll start sending him, slowly start sending him some clips so they can look at it and I'll work with them as far as what kind of music I want.
And who do you have as the composer for this film?
Yeah, we have a few. We have Maurino Solino. He's an Italian composer from he's in California.
Hmm?
He's done this huge libraries, different films all over the place. Then I have and this is not uncommon to do in TV series. TV series generally they have different directors, different writers, different composers.
Yeah.
But then he's doing episode 1 and 2. When we get to episode 3 and 4, I'm having Benny. I think his name is Benny Brown, Benjamin Brown. I'm pretty sure. I feel like it's like late where your mind isn't really working, but he's basically in he's kind of got a I think he's from Scotland, but he resides in California. And he's done, the reason I want to do that is these different composers have different styles, right? So he's going to do episode 3 and 4. The other guy's going to do 1 and 2. And Benjamin Brown, he's actually done some cool work, and he's done work as an assistant. You know who Del Toro is, right?
Oh yeah.
He's actually worked on one of his films, one of his Netherlands films. Benjamin Brown has musically.
Wow.
That's huge, right? So yeah, I definitely want him involved on doing that. So I can't wait to get these guys involved.
And speaking of getting them involved, do you approach them or do they approach you and say, I know who you are, I want to work with you? How's
Kind of a combination of both. I think one of these guys has been emailing me, I think maybe for like four years or something.
oh my
You know,
God.
it's just the timing wasn't right. I've been doing other things or, getting other people involved. So I finally roped him in, got him involved, and that's kind of how that happened.
Wow. So he saw your movie and said, I really want to work with you.
Yep. Yep. I said, hey, I don't got anything now, but keep emailing me. So he kept emailing me. That's how it works sometimes.
Now, for the composers for your movies, do they have instruments or do they use sound effects? I'm just curious because what made me think of this was in that documentary Against Score. They were showing like different composers, and like one of them was on a roof and waiting for the wind, and he was like looking for just the right sound. And people like Trent Reznor definitely has a completely different kind of scoring than say John Williams does with an orchestra. Uh,
Yeah.
so, how does your composer work? Does he use his computer to make music?
Yeah, I mean, I really wish I could have a composer. If we had a huge budget, we would
Yeah.
there's a few composers that I know that have access to the Prague Orchestra, which I've been to Prague before, and that's huge.
Oh wow,
But that's just way outside our budget.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but anyway, for these guys, no, they're more like since the
Yeah.
computer software, and some of them will do actual instruments too. So depending on what I want, they'll actually do some instruments for me as well. So it'll be a combination of both.
Yep. I love that because sometimes, like people like Trent Reznor, that music fit well. What was that? The Facebook movie? I forgot what it's called, but anyway, he won an Oscar for it. But the
Oh,
music in there
okay.
was all synthesizer and his computer, and it worked perfectly for the movie. But then you have
Yeah,
like other movies.
yeah.
So yeah, so I love that stuff, and I love when they combine the mixture of it. So before we move on to the next subject, is there anything that I missed or that you want to discuss regarding the White House is fake?
No, I mean, I think we've been talking for a while. We covered locations, we covered actors, we covered just soup to nuts, I think. I think we covered a whole lot. I mean, I think the only other thing I would say is that um for this particular miniseries, it is called a miniseries.
Yeah, I keep forgetting
Um
about that. So this miniseries, it's not a movie, but
Miniseries, yeah.
7 parts.
That yeah, 7 parts. But when this what's good about this miniseries is when it does come out, I really want the public to think about this is when we start, this doesn't have to be now, but if there's anybody listening, watching, sometime in early 2026,
Mhm.
we plan to do a premiere in Connecticut, probably at a theater, and we do one in the New York area. But if there's any restaurant or any business or any bar or cigar bar that's listening that wants to partner up with us, we can do a small premiere at your establishment, put it on your built-in TVs. We can invite the public in, we can buy some food. We can partner up with you. And, we do things like that a lot too. So if there's any businesses listening who are all for the White House is fake and obviously know it's not directed at a particular person or party, hey, come partner up with us, and join us. And you support us, we support you. You come in as a producer or offer your location, right? We can actually bring people to their location and we'll get some food. It's a win-win. It's a
Yeah.
mutual, I think, a mutual win for both of us.
There's two places I can think of right now. One, which is somebody you worked with in the past, did this for his movies, Peter Anthony, and that's where I
Oh
met
yeah,
him. He did it for at the Strand Theater in Seymour. He showed his because he's a huge Friday the 13th fan. And he does Friday the 13th fan films. That's
yep.
where I met him, and I had him on the show. That would be a good place for it. Another place. I just did a 48-hour film fest. I was an actor in one of the movies, and
Yeah,
and
which one?
it was New Haven. So it was they showed it in Bridgeport. I cannot remember which. Oh, the name
Oh,
of
I know which one you're talking about. It's
the
Bayou,
Bijou.
Bayou. Yeah,
Bijou.
yeah, yeah.
That's a
Yeah, they do a
great
lot
theater.
there. I've never been there, but it looks like a beautiful place too.
It is, and it was such a fun. It's like you said, just seeing yourself on the big screen, your name, and it was
Yeah.
so much fun being a part of it. I just did another one, a zombie film that's going to be coming up for Providence. So that should
Oh
be,
yeah.
I cannot wait to see the finished version of that because it was like 10 hours of filming. It's only like, the 48-hour film fest is only 7 minutes. So I don't know what they edited, but I was just like going over the top and I just can't wait to see what they put in there.
Was it like a comedy or like are you actually trying to eat people?
It's trying to eat people.
Oh, okay.
It's more of like in the horror. The genre was horror, so there was no
Yeah.
there was like some funny parts, funny elements to it, but it was my parts anyway were all horror.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Those are always fun.
Yeah, did you ever do any of those?
It's been on my list for a while, but the problem with them is I love to do them. The problem is the timing. It seems like every time because there's different times. Like Rhode Island does them like a few weeks apart from like Connecticut.
Yeah,
In Boston does them a different week, but it seems like when everyone is doing something, I'm always doing something else. It's like I love to get involved. Like the whole idea of like going to this room, right? Because when you go to this room, you meet the people, you obviously you get a team, and then they actually give you a topic to do. You don't even know what the hell it's going to be, right? So it's a surprise. Then they say you have to incorporate a prop, like it could be a dog leash or it
yeah.
could be you have to incorporate this line. So it puts you on your toes because you got to write a script, and basically film like within, record amount of time, and
Yeah.
then you're editing, you have to get it to them by the deadline, which I think is like midnight on one of the days, like Sunday by midnight or something.
No, it
So
goes
it's
from
very
7 p.m.
challenging.
Friday to 7 p.m. Sunday. So 48
That's
hours
it.
exactly.
Okay. Yep. Yep. So it's very challenging because I think that you meet like on a Friday, then I think you film on a Saturday, and then you get it ready, and then you release it. And
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people I know that tried it and they just missed the deadline, whether it's editing or they couldn't get it done in time. Then there's a lot of people that do really well with it. It just really depends. But my goal, eventually, I'll do one. I'll eventually do one.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, I've seen some of your movies, and I want to see the rest of them eventually. But everything I've seen is great. I knew you would be great at that because
Yeah, I
it,
could write something once I
yeah,
know the hook.
yeah,
I'll write something in 2 seconds. It'll be done.
yeah,
So it could be anything. I'll write it in like 5 seconds. So not a problem.
yeah. Now that's a huge talent because some people would, when they think too hard, they'll the brain freeze and they'll just like I can't think of anything. But when you're not thinking at all and just let it flow, that's when everything. That's more like how I am. Like when I do comedy, when I do other things, it's like when I think overthink things, I just get the brain freeze when I'm just like fuck it, and also like like 10 pages of either a story or comedy and whatever I'm doing at the time.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, I want to talk. Speaking of, we talked about like where you're filming your movie or not filming your movie, where you're going to be airing your movie, and I want. How can businesses have their logo featured on the red carpet?
It's another one. Yeah. So like again, a small partnership. You'll get your logo on the backdrop. Now, when we say backdrop in the business, we call that a step and repeat backdrop, which means logos are repeated on there for partnership. So when our photographer is basically taking photos on that backdrop, the actors will be basically behind the backdrop and you'll see your business logo. And then when we release those photos, guess what? Your logo is everywhere. It's like
Yeah,
bird shit, right? That's a good thing. So like for a small partnership, we just charge $125 USD, very reasonable. You could be on that step and repeat logo and you can come to the event, you can network with hundreds of people, right? It's a beautiful thing. It's a no-brainer. Team up with us. And then we can even do more, right? Like let's say you're a realtor company or you're a business. For a little bit more than that, you can still get your logo on the backdrop, but like let's say you have a realtor commercial already pre-done, right?
yeah.
We'll air it at the theater before we air our film. How cool is that? Or we'll put it in the intermission.
I
So
love it.
all of the advertising, think of it as an advertising or marketing, right? If you're a business or a company, everyone has an advertising budget, marketing budget, right? That's what this is. But it's more beyond that because we could do different things. We could offer that, putting your commercial on the big screen. We can put you on the step and repeat backdrop. We can even bring you on stage to say a few words. So we can cater it to any way you want. Now, like let's say, hey Joe, yeah, I'd love to do it. I really want to promote my business. I don't have a video. A little bit more, I can come to you and I can film you a video that we can play. You can actually keep the video and put it on your YouTube. So that's a little bit more, but there's different packages that we can do it's a mutual partnership. So I think it's really, really good.
Right. And where, if people were interested, businesses were interested, where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, they can just send me an email, jhawk, so JHAWK, that's jhawk at thehawkstudios.com. Put an email in there, put sponsorship or red carpet, business sponsor or your product sponsor, and then I'll get back to you with the different options that we can partner up with. So it's a really, really good thing. A lot of people out here, you know the phrase, support local, right? Same thing, support local indie. Same thing here. We're an independent film company, so hey, support us, we'll support you. It's a mutual thing, mutual thing.
And what's the average prices? What are the ranges?
Yeah, so 125 is that's not that basic sponsorship on the logo. If you
Okay.
want a little bit more, I'm going to put up your existing commercial, for like 500, we can do that and put you
Okay.
on the step and repeat. And not just that, you're going to be in the end credits too, whether you want an individual name or your company name on the end credits, that'll all be in there too. Now a little bit more, you don't have a commercial, you want us to film one for 850. If you're in the East Coast region, the Connecticut, Mass, Rhode Island, Maine area, not like, California or way over there, somewhere close, I can come to you and film for 850. We can do that. And you can also be on the logo, on the step and repeat backdrop. And then once we film the commercial, we'll put it on the premiere. So before a movie plays, hey, we see you. We'll invite you up the stage, say a few words. Here's our elite sponsor. So there's all these different, ranging tiers that they can be part of. So I think it's a good thing.
All right. I definitely look forward to seeing this. And I tried to make it to Article 92 last time, but I just couldn't do it. I think our schedules were conflicting. I just couldn't get out of work on time by the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I
yeah.
got there. But this time, I definitely want to be there. I want
Oh,
to be
for
at the
sure.
premiere. Can't wait to see it. Do you have a little bit more time?
I do. The
All right.
time is just a word.
All right, I love it because I love talking movies with you because you have such a great knowledge of movies. I want to talk about the best and worst movies so far of 2025. I want your opinion on some of these.
Oh,
I know.
man, the best and the worst.
I have a list of the movies that I'm part of the AMC A-lister, so I pay $25 a month and I can
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that, and I see so many great movies. And one example, I just saw this the other night. It was to me, it was like this. I'm so mad that hardly anybody ever heard of it, and probably nobody saw it. It was called Dead of Winter with Emma Thompson.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one now.
Nobody did. It's such a great movie. She's from Minnesota. She goes up to there's a reason why she goes up to this area and she finds out this couple kidnapped this woman, so she's going to do whatever she can to save her, but it's a great psychological thriller. I said I never because whenever I look down the list of like what can I say, I'm always looking at movies that I never heard of because those are usually the hidden gems, like the movies that like
Yeah.
the big budget box office, like most of those are like usually the same, like these like wash rinse repeat, so, not all of them but some of those, but the ones that like the ones that you never heard of and they're like way down at the end of the hall like a theater 13, those are usually the best ones.
Yeah.
Another one I
Yeah.
saw, actually I want your opinion on this. I don't know if you saw, I saw it last week and I was very disappointed. It's Jordan Peele produced it, called Him, with Damon, or sorry, Marlon Wayans. I don't know if you heard about that. He's a football player in a cult.
I think I saw a like a trailer to it. I didn't really know much about it. I have not seen it yet, though. No.
Horrible. Don't. To me, all right. What's this? As a filmmaker, what is your opinion of Jordan Peele?
There's a lot of people that I think he's got a different style. Um, that like him, and I can appreciate it. For me, he's the same one that did Nope, right?
Yeah, Nope. He did Get Out. That was the big one. That was really to me the only one I really liked. He did them with or was it Us? Like them or Us? I can't remember. It was a doppelganger type thing. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, well, for me, I watched Nope, but I watched, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of it and I just lost interest. That
yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't
No,
for me.
no, you know what? That's why same thing with this movie too. I said I want to finish it and see what happens. And after I finished it, I said I just wish I walked out an hour and a half ago because it really wasn't worth it. But I think he came out with Get Out, which I thought was a great movie. But then they're
Mm.
labeling him as the next Alfred Hitchcock, the next Steven Spielberg. I said, really, one movie, or all of a sudden he's next Spielberg, the next Hitchcock? And I think he's sort of like an M. Night Shyamalan, where he found a niche and
Yeah.
he's doing
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again. That was my opinion. So I just saw that and I didn't like it. One I did like, and I read the book years ago.
Yeah.
Was The Long Walk, Stephen King, or Richard Bachman. Actually, you
Ah,
see that one?
no, no.
It's
I
you
gotta
know,
watch it. I have not seen that one.
it's a great movie. It's basically just they're doing this thing where they have to walk and keep walking and walking, walking, and you can't finish until you just drop it. Like you can't if you go to a bathroom and you stop for like more than 10 seconds, they're gonna kill you. If you get a cramp in your leg and you stop, they're gonna shoot you. You just have to keep walking and walking. And the last person standing is the winner. But there is so much more to the movie than just that. It's just
Really?
that's the basic premise. It's a short story by, well, like I said, his alias was Richard Bachman, because
Ah.
he wanted to see if people would buy his books if it wasn't Stephen King on the cover, and but that was a good movie. The
You know
other,
what's on my my list? I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list to watch. Maybe you've seen it. Have you seen Weapons yet?
yes, I want to talk. That's on there. I love that movie.
Really, I really, I just been so busy. It's on my list to watch. I want to see it. I think I'll like it, but I have not seen it yet.
You will, I think, knowing your taste and what we talked about,
Yeah,
nothing a lot. It's one of those movies where the hell is this going? And I can't remember the woman's name, but she's an actress that's been around forever, and she's married to Ed Harris. She does such a great job in this character. She is completely,
really.
and the movie is broken down into chapters. They do start off like say chapter
Ah,
4, but there's one chapter that they didn't show. It was the story of that woman, the antagonist, and from what I heard, the movie did so well that they're going to make a prequel with that missing chapter based on
really. You
it.
know what's funny? You mentioned Ed Harris in this. I didn't even know he was in this, but
Well, he's
for
not, but his
me,
wife is.
oh, his wife is. But for
Yeah,
me, like Ed Harris, when I wrote the character for my film, The White House is Fake, Mr. James Hutchison,
yeah.
he, in my head, that's Ed Harris. He was based on Ed Harris. That's how much I really love Ed Harris. I loved Ed Harris in when he played the mobster in A History of Violence. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
He did a really good job on that. And when I wrote the book in 2017 for The White House is Fake, and I'm kind of envisioning it. This is when I had um, no thought to do a miniseries, but if I did, I was like, hey, Ed Harris would be he would be this guy. You know, that's how much I love. I think Ed Harris would have killed that role. William Petrano, he's going to kill it though too. I mean, but Weapons, yeah, that's on my list. Another one I saw that I wasn't really expecting too much. I did laugh at a lot of parts. I thought there was a lot of funny parts in it. I mean, I was dying laughing in a couple, but again, it's a movie where, you know, it's not going to get a good rating. It's fun. It's the new Naked Gun. You
Oh,
see
you're
that?
right. I'm glad you brought that up because I am a huge fan of Police Squad. I'm a huge fan of Naked Gun. I love Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah,
I said, there's
yeah.
no way. And the trailer to me didn't really capture. I said, it doesn't really seem like it's going to be good. But I interviewed an author recently, and he has very similar taste to what we're talking about. And he goes, Rich, don't go by the trailer. The movie is actually hilarious, and
It is. Yeah,
it does
it
keep
is.
the essence of Naked Gun and Police Squad. So I do want to check it out because at
Oh, you
first,
haven't seen it yet? Yeah, it
oh,
is worth if you wanna. There's so many like laughable parts, but again, you can't take it seriously because you know what it is, right?
yeah,
You know, it's that whole comedy parody type style, but it made me want to watch like Hot Shots again and all
oh yeah.
those films, right? You know?
Well, I love Seth MacFarlane anyway. I mean, I don't love everything he's done, but most of the stuff that he's done, I do. And I know what was he the director, right, and the writer for that
I
movie?
believe so. Yeah, I mean, it's just funny. I don't know if you remember the scene that because when I watched Naked Gun, I was like, I got to watch Hot Shots again.
Yeah.
In Hot Shots, Charlie Sheen did a lot of like the Tom Cruise like parody, but there's this one scene. I don't know if you remember the scene, but I haven't seen this movie in like a long time, but I laughed so hard on it. There's a scene where they're at a funeral and the U.S. Naval commander is there, old guy, forget the actor name, great actor, and the guys, at a military funeral, they start firing the guns, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they got the rifles up, they're going boom, boom, and he's like looking around, not again. He thinks he's at war. He's just losing his shit, right? So he runs and he takes cover. He brings the woman down there, the coffin, right? Out of nowhere, he pulls a grenade and he throws it at the U.S. Marines that are firing in the air, and then he starts firing and shooting at him. I was like, I was dead. I was like dying. Like he's like, he says something like, "You gotta love a good funeral" or something, some line. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like care for the parody movies, but when you haven't seen them in a while and you watch them, there's always that one, maybe two spots that you gotta, you fall off your chair laughing.
I think one of my favorite lines is from it might have been from the first Naked Gun, where he goes and the police chief goes, "I don't want the same type of incident what happened before that happened in the park." He goes, "I don't know, call me crazy, but when I see four wackos and togas stabbing each other, I kill the bastard. That's my motto." And she goes, "It was Shakespeare in the Park."
Yeah, those were just so classic movies. I think it was the Naked Gun 2, and then like 33, and there's
Yeah,
like three of them, right?
Naked Gun 2.5 and Naked Gun 33 and a third. Or
That's what it was.
yeah,
Yep, yep,
yeah.
yeah. I
They're
gotta
all
rewatch those too.
they're all great. That's what I love about it is because I mean they're actually I mean I think it was I forgot his first name was it David Zucker whatever his name was who created that uh,
Yeah.
because like it's like it was so brand new and fresh when it came out in the 80s and it's like getting expected. Then like some of the other movies later on were trying to copy that and it just wasn't as good. But
Mm.
those like the ones you like Hot Shots, Naked Gun, Airplane, those movies were just hilarious because it's like even though like the stupidest lines are just the way they did it. So it's like, surely you can't be serious. Yes, I am serious, and please don't call me Shirley. And it's just like something like that. It's like it sounds so stupid, but it's hilarious just the way they delivered the lines and I
Oh yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
you know, then the other funny part is too is you'll see this I don't know if you remember, I think this was in the 90s maybe early 2000s, forget when it came out, but not just this particular show that I'm going to mention, but they try to hide stuff. So back in like that time in those 90s, they didn't have like, you know, the crystal clear plasma and LCD TVs. They had like probably the big CRT TVs, right? The quality isn't really as what it is today.
Yeah.
So as a producer, when you produce these shows, you're like, no one's gonna know. You ever hear that expression? No one's gonna know, right? No one is gonna know. But then when you actually rewatch those type of shows in, you know, high definition TVs, you see all the flaws. What I'm referring to is I saw the other day, I don't know if you picked this up or know what I'm referring to, but um, Dawson's Creek was a TV show,
Yep.
and there's a scene where it was wintertime and they're supposed to be walking on snow. They literally used a snow blanket, but on the high definition TV, when he's stepping on with his feet, you can see the blanket move like this.
That's funny. Yeah.
But you wouldn't notice it back then because the TVs were so like, you know, they weren't that clear and, you know, they got away with it.
I know that is funny.
But that happens.
We go back, the actress's name who's married to Ed Harris, her name is Amy Madigan. Hopefully she wins an Oscar because she was phenomenal in that role for Weapons. I just want to go back to that.
Oh yeah, weapons. Yeah, it's on my list. I'm trying to get to it. You know, I'm really hopeful that I can get to it. I've been watching I don't know if you have MGM Plus, another recommended show by Steven Spielberg. It's called The Institute. I don't know if you heard of it. Really,
Well,
really
Stephen
well
King.
done.
Yeah, Stephen King wrote it.
Stephen King, yeah, Stephen King. It's I think it's on season one just ended. I watched all of it. It's really, really good about
Okay.
telekinesis and all that. It's really, really done really well.
I wanted to read the book because I love Stephen King.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
but I did see that came out and I wanted to check it out. But
Well, you heard about what happened to him, right? Though he's like on his last and middle. He's so bad with the actual dementia. He says he probably only has one more book in him, and he's going to stop writing because his dementia is getting so bad. He said,
really,
"Yeah,
I didn't
Stephen
realize
King."
he
He
had
said,
that.
"Yeah, he said that recently in an interview. I think maybe last month, maybe the month before that. He probably only has one. I think he just wrote a series of books or something like that, but he's going to try to do one more, but he's afraid to do any more because his dementia is going to be so bad. He's not going to have it in him. So he's
Wow.
on his way out for, I think, as far as a writer, I think."
Well, you know what's funny about that is years ago, he was in a really bad car accident where he thought he was going to die. And he said, I don't think I can ever write again. The books that after the accident, I think are way better than the books that were before the accident. I love the last like maybe 10, 15 books, however many. He comes out with at least maybe like one or two a year. The last one,
Oh, okay.
Don't Flinch, I think it's called. It's a really good book. And it is part of a series. Her name is Holly, and she runs this business. And she was like a secondary character in the beginning, but then the main character died in the books, and then she took over the business, and then she's become. So it's a really good book, and yeah,
Oh, okay.
I gotta look more into it. I didn't even hear anything because his son Joe Hill is a great author too. I'm not sure if you're a fan of his.
What is he? What's
He Nosferatu.
Okay,
The
okay.
Black Phone. That's
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep, yep.
also Horns, which is a great. The book is great. The movie was pretty good too. Like who's the one who played Harry Potter? Um,
A Radcliffe? Is that
yeah, he,
Radcliffe?
he plays in the
Daniel
movie. He,
Radcliffe?
does,
Yeah.
he actually does a really good job. But he's another good author. Another movie. I'm not sure. I know you would like. Do you like the
Yeah.
Coen Brothers?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
One of the Coen Brothers did this one. The other one didn't. It was called Honey Don't.
Oh yeah?
With the girl. Did you see the movie The Substance? with Demi
That,
Moore.
nah, that's on my list. I heard good things about it, but I have not seen that.
It's a great movie. And Demi Moore, I was so glad she won at least the Golden Globe. I wish she won the Oscar because I don't think she's ever going to get another chance to be at that on that podium again. But she did a phenomenal job, and it was done. The woman who played in that movie, Margaret Qualley, is her name. She played in a couple. She played in I know we talked about this last time. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was one of the people in that movie.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
If you saw her, you'd recognize her. She was the main star, and she plays a detective, and she's investigating this crime. And there's a Charlie something from So He's Sunny in Philadelphia. It's sort of it's basically Coen Brothers humor and with drama.
Okay.
It's a really good movie. Another one I saw, I'm not sure if you did, was called Eddington with Joaquin Phoenix.
No, I've been like lately. That's I've been out of the game with all this pre-production and
Oh yeah. Now, what's funny because like when I'm home, I hate watching TV. I feel like I'm wasting my time. But
yeah.
that $25, I'm like, you know what? It's like it costs like $15 to go see one movie. So
I
it's,
know prices has gone up, but I've been watching one of my favorite shows. I do try to get pave time for. I'm all caught up on season 3 is Tulsa King with
oh, I love
Sylvester
that show.
Stallone.
Yep.
It's very, very good. Yeah, I really enjoy that one. So I just saw every Sunday. That's what I look forward to, man. That's the one thing I carve time for.
Oh yeah. Well, the same creator of that show did another one with Billy Bob Thornton too, called Landman. I think it's called.
Oh
Or
yeah.
yeah, it's not to me. It wasn't as good. I stopped watching that one. But Tulsa King, like just like you, as soon as I saw the first season, like what the hell is this? I love the show. Then I saw season 2, and now I'm dead smack in the middle of season 3. So I can't wait to see what's going to be happening in this one. Because
I know. I
yeah,
know. I'm excited.
yeah. So that you're right. That is one of the shows that I do watch on a regular basis.
Yep.
So I was going through some of the movies I've seen. I want your opinion. I know you said Bring Her Back. Did you see that one?
Which one?
It's called Bring Her Back. It's done by two brothers from Australia called the Philippou brothers, Michael and Daniel Philippou. They did a movie called oh my God, my mind went blank on it. Wait, hold on, I'm gonna look it up because this one
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. No, I haven't seen that one.
yeah, that one I think you like. Do you like horror movies, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you would love this movie.
Yeah.
Talk to Me, it's called. Talk to Me is
Oh,
the
okay.
came out a couple years ago. It came out of nowhere. It's these two YouTubers, and they just started filming things, and they made their debut movie. And whatever the budget was, it grossed maybe like 10 times the amount. So they're like, "All right, you can do whatever you want. You have carte blanche." And then they did Bring Her Back, which was really good. I liked it even better, but unfortunately, it didn't do as well in the theater. So I don't know what they're gonna be like now. Like maybe they're gonna be like, "Yeah, maybe we won't give you the type point." But like what's that? There's a theater. I mean, not theater. It's a studio that I love. It's called is it A1 or not A1?
Which one?
There's
A1?
no. Let me see.
Where's it located?
I'm gonna look it up right now because there's they let the film. What I love the studio about is that they let the filmmakers be themselves, and I'll tell you what I mean. Bring It
Hmm.
Back studio. Let's see. Let's see. It is A24. Do you ever hear of
Oh
A?
yeah, yeah. Of course. A24 is like I think Warfare, Civil War.
Yeah.
I think I didn't they even do Smashing Machine with Rock?
Yeah.
Isn't that A24 too?
Yeah, that which I love because they take chances. They did all these movies that probably most studios would be like, yeah, I don't know about this one, and then, so that they're the ones that did Bring Her Back and Talk to Me, and like you said, I do want to see that movie with The Rock. I haven't seen that one yet.
No, I haven't seen it either. Now, what about you mentioned you saw some pretty bad ones lately. What about bad movies? Which ones did you not like?
Oh my God, I'm trying to think. Well, I saw him. Let's just say that was probably like one of the worst I've seen. Oh, um, the one I was sort of disappointed with, but I saw it at the drive-in, so I might want to see it again. Was called Sinners. Everybody got rave
Hmm.
reviews. It's the guy
Oh, is
that
that the Michael B. Jordan one? Is that the
yeah
one? Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen the like the poster, but I've never seen it. I
I,
didn't see that one.
I don't know if it was one of those movies where maybe you got so much hype. I'm like, really, this is it? But then again, it's all takes place at night. I'm at the drive and I could barely see. People have their headlights on. So maybe if I saw it in the indoor theater or even at home, I might like it a little bit better.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have not seen that one.
Um, one I did like with not James Franco, but his brother Dave. It's a horror movie called Together.
Together? No, I haven't seen that.
Where they get like stuck together. It's this weird
Oh
thing.
yeah?
It's a cult that's doing it, but it's hard to explain the movie, but if you go in there not knowing or even expecting anything, you're gonna enjoy it. It's just it's a fun like fun horror comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really, as far as new stuff, I haven't really seen too much. There's a film, not a new one, but I enjoyed it. I saw it a couple weeks ago. I want to say Ethan Hawke's in it, or Ethan
Yeah. Well, Ethan Hawke.
Premonition. You seen that?
No. I
It's
don't,
kind of got these time travel aspects. I think it's 2014, maybe. It's dated, but it's really, really good. If you like time travel movies, I'm pretty sure it's called Premonition
yeah, it says
or
2007. Is that it?
what's it called?
It says Premonition is a 2007 American supernatural psychological thriller starring Sandra Bullock with Julian McMahon, Nia Long, Kate Nelligan, Amber Valletta, and Peter Stormare. Is that the one?
No, I think I'm butchering the name. Um, what that's
Well, what's the movie about?
so it's got. I thought it was Ethan Hawke was in it, but basically it's about trying to find it. It's kind of really interesting because the way it comes about, I know it's streaming because it was on one of the streaming stations. Let me see if I could Google it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do
Oh,
it.
Predestination. That's the
Oh,
name.
okay. No, I never even
2014.
heard of that one.
Yeah, it's they're basically like these agents that are trying to basically go back in time and prevent certain things and attacks. And I think it's like a bomb attack, I think. And but basically there's a turning point. There's a huge plot twist, and I'm not going to give it away that the person he's talking to, when you find out who that is, it's just crazy that time travel aspect. If you like movies like Gattaca, right, which is one of my favorite ones. I don't know if you saw that Gattaca
Yeah, yeah.
1997. Um, I
That
think
was
Ethan Hawke is in that one too.
yeah with Uma Thurman, which is
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's another one. But this one is just on another level because that twist was just so unexpected. You got to check it if you like sci-fi and time travel and a twist you never see coming. Like so, basically, the movie opens up where he's like I think they call him like temporal agents, and he's like kind of at a crime scene. So when they show the film, like you can see different points of view, like camera wise, it shows like he's looking at different things and it's like scanning different things, and he's trying to like basically piece together this murder. But it kind of gets things kind of happen where there's a big twist that you don't see coming. So if you like that type of style, you got to check out
Yeah,
what did I just call it? Predestination,
Predestination. I'm gonna definitely
predestination.
check.
Yeah, really, really good one.
There's two movies. Well, I'll go with two more movies that I think you should watch. One I haven't seen yet, but are you a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson? Because to me, he's either hit or miss. He's the one that did Boogie Nights. He did the was for there will be blood. He did the one with Adam Sandler, but he makes these really long. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes really good. But he just came out with one with Benicio del Toro, Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn. One battle after another. That looks really
Oh,
good.
that's on my list to watch. That's in theaters, though, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
right?
that's it's brand new, so I haven't seen
Yeah, I
it.
saw the trailer to that. I really want to watch it. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I just want to see like really quick the other movies that he did because I know that you would see it like oh yeah, it was There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, Licorice Pizza was a good one. Magnolia, that's with Tom Cruise and
Oh, Magnolia with the frogs. I love that
that was,
Magnolia. That
that
was
was
a
a
good one.
great movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great movie.
And I like the fact he always uses the same actors over and over again, but he puts them in different parts.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like Philip Seymour Hoffman, it's such a shame. He was such a great actor.
I know. I loved him in Mission Impossible 3 with the rabbit's foot. He really did that role really well too in that
I
one.
just watched that one. The reason is because I loved the last Mission Impossible. To me it's just like mindless popcorn entertainment, but such a
Yeah.
great lots of action. And I have no idea how he does those stunts because we all know that Tom Cruise does his own stunts, and that I don't know if you saw in the trailer at least he jumps out of an airplane, jumps on another
Oh
airplane.
yeah, no, I seen it. I'm like a huge Tom Cruise fan. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
when every time a Mission Impossible movie comes out, I go. But here's a fun fact you might not know about a Mission Impossible movie. They did this, I think, in the last three, maybe four. When they get the idea for the Mission Impossible, the production crew, the director, whoever, writer, They don't even give them a script. It's like half done. They have a half done script. They said, okay, I want to jump off this truck. All right, we're gonna go here. They're literally writing the script as they're filming. That's what they've done for the Mission Impossible movies, but it worked so well,
Oh my
they
God, yeah.
kept doing it. It's weird, right? But that's it works well for them.
Yeah, no, I love those movies. And
Yeah,
no, I saw an interview with Tom Cruise, which you're a big fan of. He
yeah.
said, even though this is supposed to be the last one, he goes, "You guys see the next stunt I'm getting ready for." So he's got this big thing planned that he's getting. I mean, he was teasing some TV show, the audience with that. He's like,
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's really good about like I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. There's a time where Matt Damon, right?
"Hmm?
Matt Damon, Born Identity, right? So he's having
Oh, yeah,
lunch with Tom Cruise one time, and he's talking to Tom Cruise, and he's like talking to Tom. This was one of the Mission Impossible movies where he was in Dubai, where he did like that pendulum swing,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? So he was talking to him specifically about that. He said, "Hey Tom, about this stunt, tell me a little bit about it." He's like, Matt, I was looking my whole life to do something like this, and finally I get a chance to do it, and everything's going great. And we get over the stunt guy, and I go over all the parameters with him, and the stunt guy goes, "We can't do that." And then Matt Damon goes, he was telling the story. He goes, "So Tom gets another stunt guy, right? And then they finally do it. So it's just funny. That happens too sometimes where the stunt guy even says it's too dangerous, but Tom does half his own stunts.
yeah, yeah.
And then he finally finds a stunt guy that says, I can do this rig, this harness, we'll get it done for you. So it's funny how that happens.
One of the most impressive things I've seen where I can't remember which Mission Impossible. I know you're gonna know where he's jumping from building to building, and he's during filming he broke his ankle. And he's
Yeah, yeah, that's
running.
true. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He actually clipped the
yeah.
end of the building and he hit his ankle on the way and he just, yeah, yeah,
I like you said. There's so many people that just shit all over him. I think he's a great actor. I think he makes great movies. Going
yeah.
back to like the '80s, I love all the stuff he's done, and I don't know. I can really care less about the Scientology. He never brings it up. He never. And
No,
I've seen
no,
interviews with people, and they're like, "Yeah, he always made everybody feel comfortable on the set. He was a great producer. He always did what he was supposed to do, and just I don't know." So I think that he's very much underrated. But I
oh
think
yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, yeah,
mean, the fact that Top Gun was such a great movie, he made Top Gun 2 even better than Part 1, I thought, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. I'm a big fan of Top Gun Maverick. That was really, really great film. Ed Harris was in that, by
I
the
was
way.
just going to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He seems to be in all these great movies himself.
Yep.
The other one, I'll go through one because I know one of the shows we talked about Parasite, which is, I love that movie. Uh,
Yep.
the director of that did one movie this year. Yeah, it was this year. Mickey 17. Did you
Oh
see?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I haven't
Oh my
seen
God.
that.
Yeah, I love it. It's oh my God, I can't remember who the actor is. It's not Daniel Radcliffe, but it's the guy who's the guy that plays I'll look it up, but it's just basically they keep making the same guy, Mickey 17, he dies and they make a new one, but then one lives and then the two keep battling it out. It's,
Oh yeah.
it's such a I mean it's got as you know if you like his movies, the director appears I can't was it Bong Joon or something. Come on.
Mm.
But that let's see. 1 second. Mickey 17. It stars I don't want to see the trailer. It's got oh my God, why is it? Oh, cast. Robert Pattinson plays the main character,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and the director is I know you know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name though. Let's see. Director. Because you remember, I thought you liked Parasite, right?
Yeah, Parasite. Yeah, well, when I talked to you, I think the first time we talked about that, I think maybe a couple years ago, I'd never seen it, but then after you mentioned it, I checked it out.
Oh, yeah, it's Bong Joon Ho. That's what it was. I,
Yep.
I had it in the right name, but wrong order. Anyway, so those are some of the movies that I would definitely recommend for this year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, totally.
It
Totally.
seems like, and I hate when they do this, but I know why they do it because people have such short-term memories. All the Oscar hopefuls come out like in November, So when they're voting for like best picture of the year, like, oh, that movie, they just saw it. Movies that come out in January, February, people are like, oh, I completely forgot about that one. So I don't know what's coming out like the next month or so, but that's usually when all the
Yeah.
Oscar hopefuls are coming out. And hopefully, we're gonna see the White House is fake on there one day.
Yeah. 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 I can't wait. We're getting ready. We're getting ready.
I want to talk about before we go because
Yeah.
as I mentioned in the intro, you're an 11-time award-winning filmmaker. So don't be so humble. So what awards have you won?
Yeah. So for my last project, Article 92, we won Best Lead Actor, Stephen Hugg, which is sad he didn't even get to see that he won that. We
Uh,
won best, I think, it's best special effects for the alien, the custom alien that we had made up, 6.5 feet long by Rob Zubkowski of Arizona.
uh,
He made a one-off alien. So we got that. Best supporting actor, Mario Canero. We got best, I think best, what do they call it? Best thriller or best adventure, something like that. We got for that one. And then best, a couple other one. We won, I think, 3 or 4, maybe 5 times for Article 92. And then we won like a lot of my other stuff. Like, remember the Harvard Psychologist?
yep.
We won like best plot twist on that one. So that's an award for that. And then we won a couple on for Bobby. We won a couple on Tony Martone. We won a couple on that was best mobster movie. We won what else? When you do so many movies, you're just trying to think of,
Oh, exactly.
what they are, because when you're such iron focused on one, that's all you can think about is the White House is fake right now. If we were talking like, prior to June, I would say Article 92, Article 92, Article 92. Now it's the White House is fake. The White House is
Oh yeah.
fake. Yeah,
Right. What's funny is like that's why when I first started doing this show, I would an example, I would be interviewing authors and I'd be talking about a book they came out with maybe 2 years ago. They're like, I wrote that so long ago, I completely forgot. So now when I do questions like that, I'll write down the answer here. It's like, let me refresh your memory. You said that, oh yeah, yeah. And then I learned that from experience because when I first started doing this show, I would
Yeah,
get the questions and I realized that like they've done so much since they did that project they don't remember it. And I'm the same way too. Like
yeah,
after a while, it's like if you don't think about it for a while, like let me think. Like I mean, like even these movies I was talking about, I saw them in maybe January and February. I'm like, who's the director? What is this? So I completely understand that.
yep. Oh yeah.
Well, before we go, I want to give you some more plugs. We already know White House is fake is gonna be next, but where can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me basically on social media. If they're on TikTok, search Hawk Studios. It's I think the tag is Hawk Studio CT. Same thing on Instagram, Hawk Studio CT. Facebook, you can find me as Joe Hawk, or look up Hawk Studios. And then we're on my website, www.thehawkstudios.com. Email jhawk@thehawkstudios.com. And that's basically where you can find me. You can also see all of the projects I did, all the SAG, all the non-SAG at IMDb. Look up Joe Hawk, and you can check out my profile there as well.
Well, first, I want to thank Mark Wither years ago for introducing me to you. I'm a huge fan of your work. I cannot wait to see what's going to be coming up next. And I was going through, I think you have the honor of being the guest who's been on this show the most.
Oh yeah?
First episode was June 20th, 2020. Second
Wow.
episode was August 7th, 2022. Third time was April 7th, 2024. And now October 8th, 2025. So as I say this every episode to you, you got carte blanche. Come back anytime you want to promote something. We'll get it out there and get as many people to see this movie.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
It's always good to talk to you, Joe.
Yep. Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
All right, that wraps up the latest episode of the Claw's Corner. A huge thanks goes out to writer, director, cinematographer, producer, and director of photographer Joe Hawk for taking time out of his extremely busy schedule. As you can see, he's very busy all over the place filming. To be a guest on my show. A huge thank you also goes out to editor extraordinaire John Bristol, the award-winning Elmwood Productions, for always doing a superb job editing this show each and every week and making it available to all on YouTube. I am also extremely grateful to Rob Bull and Del Coles for all they do to make my show available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, as well as cable station in Connecticut. And lastly, but definitely not least, I need to thank you, the viewer, for always tuning in. Enjoy your day, everyone. And before we go, I gotta say, that is very cool.
That's my book novel. That's the cover to my book. I use that for promotion. Obviously, when we do the White House is Fake miniseries, you'll see the actor's face. But that's the supremacist DOT truck is over here. You got the secret tunnel. You're under the highway.
I love it. All right. It's coming soon to a theater near you.
That's right.
Enjoy your day, everyone. And we are